Some houses are flying off the shelves and others are staying on the market for a long time. What gives? Find out in today's Real Talk. Today we have the wonderful Cheryl Maceo from the team. Thanks for coming on, Cheryl.
Thank you, Peter.
Cheryl, you've seen your fair share of different markets, and we're kind of in a weird space right now where many listings are hanging on the market, not selling, but there's the odd few that seem to be flying off the shelves and some even selling in competition. I feel like you're a great authority on this. What do you think of the listings that are selling and are selling quickly? What do you think they're doing differently that sets them apart, that allows them to get off the market quickly?
I think they've done a lot of preparation to get their house ready, you know, whether it's been very beautifully renovated and updated or having been staged. I think that's the key.
Yeah, it mostly seems to be those shiny beads that people are attracted to and they're going through and that are getting a lot of showings.
Absolutely. Buyers are being very, very critical in this market. So the ones that have been like just showcased beautifully, those are the ones that the buyers want.
Now, you've dealt with a lot of sellers over the years. What are some mistakes that you see sellers make? Because a mistake can be a really grave thing in a market like this where it's very temperamental to get your house sold. So what are some common things that you see sellers do that can have them go wrong at the start of a listing?
I think price expectation. Some of them are still reliving what was happening in the first quarter of 2022. So they want those higher prices. And we know the reality is that the prices have come down. They've adjusted. And I think they also want to just try because their house is going to be that much more special than what the comparables or the ones on the market suggest that they're at. So I think they just want to try at that higher price, and it's not working out for them.
Yeah, I think they're overestimating the power of the uniqueness of their home. Yes, we know it's worth X, but we think that people are going to appreciate this about our house, so we should list for Y. And then that ends up having them chase the market over and over again.
Absolutely, it's so true.
And dropping the price.
It's so true.
We've spoken to a lot of sellers, or heard from a lot of sellers that are planning on putting their house on the market this spring. So in a month, 2 months or more. What would be some advice to somebody who's thinking of getting their house on the market later on, like in May or even June?
Well, I think if they can, they should try to get their house on the market now because historically we always see more inventory come up after March break. But if not, like if they do have some prep that they need to do, I think really the key is meeting with the realtor and going through the house and discussing with the realtor what needs to be done versus what does not need to be done, because sometimes what sellers think needs to be done doesn't necessarily have to be done.
Saving themselves the mistakes of over-improving something that's not necessarily going to get them a dollar for dollar back when they go to list.
Absolutely.
And then my last question for you, we've seen a lot of stability the last few months. Compared to 2022 with the ups and downs, the prices kind of remained steady and the inventory has also been kind of matched with the number of buyers entering the market. Where do you see things going? Like, do we see a big change in the inventory or change in the price? And do we think that the last half of this year is going to be super busy?
I personally think that we've reached the bottom of the changes that have been made to pricing, especially if we compare it to what happened. Like we had a steady 10-month decline in pricing, and then January was actually up over December.
Finally.
Right. So I think in terms of pricing, we're not going to go any further. And I think the lack of inventory also is going to have an impact on pricing because we have seen multiple offers happening, right?
We have,
Like we had somebody on our team that was one of 13 offers last week.
Yes, yeah.
Who would have thought?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think all is looking good. We had a lot of ups and downs last year and looking forward to some stability this year.
So are we.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you very much for coming on, Cheryl.
Thank you.
Great.